in a once saved, always saved sort of Baptist context, it's actually easier to make this hermetic distinction between justification and sanctification, between the second use of the law and the third use of the law, because they can preach about how you're a good person, how you should be a good person, how you should live the Christian life till the cows come home, and at the end of it say, oh, but yeah, that's got nothing to do with whether you're saved or not. Of course, in practice, they don't get away with it because it actually does have something to do with whether you're saved or not. And people who are not interested in living the Christian life at all, they fall away from the faith of Christ too. Like that's just how it happens, whether your theology says it can happen or not. And so they eventually end up using these things at least as signs of their salvation, at least as evidence, so that they can have some sort of confidence that Jesus Christ did really save them without any of that, by grace alone. And once that's happened, it's basically works righteousness by the back door, because what is faith? Faith is confidence. So if your confidence that you were saved without works by Jesus Christ is based on the quality of your own works, then your faith is actually in your works as well as in Jesus, and possibly in your works as much as in Jesus. And so it does bite them in the back, but they can seem not to have that problem for a long time. Whereas in Lutheran circles, we have to acknowledge straight up that this can happen. It's like if you avoid sanctification, you can lose your justification. And so that then gives ammunition, I think, to the more conservative antinomians, because when the pastor says you need to fight against your sins, he's not just saying in order to be a better Christian. He is saying the person who doesn't fight against his sins may eventually cave into his sins completely and stop believing the gospel. Then that thing that is third use of the law starts sounding like, but so that's the way I'm justified, actually. And it starts sounding like nomianism. And it can sound like that, and it can be confused, and that's what makes this a complicated discussion. But the reason it's not is because the third use of the law is never, if you do these things, you'll live by their merit. It's if you care about these things, and if you strive to do them, walking in the forgiveness of Jesus Christ when you fail, that is what keeps the gospel alive in you. That is what keeps you caring about your sins, so that when you say the confession of sins on a Sunday morning, you're not just mouthing words. You're not just running through words that you've stopped feeling a long time ago because you're so resigned to the fact you're going to keep sinning that you've stopped trying. The third use of the law tells you how to walk, but it doesn't tell you how to be saved. But telling you how to walk, it tells you where to stay so that you remain in range of the thing that does save you, which is the gospel and the condemnation of the second use. Without the third use, without you living the Christian life as part of the church, you just get away from all of that, and it all becomes alien to you, and you don't have contrition anymore, and your faith in the gospel can become a purely intellectual thing instead of what it's meant to be, the solution to a problem that you actually feel, an actual fear of the wrath of God because you're a sinner.